American women have a great problem facing them today. The problem is they can't get anything out of their husbands on the weekends between September and February. The problem is the men's great love for the game of football, essentially turning their wives into football widows. I can relate. As you know, you can't get anything out of me during the weekend, during the football season, but I'm not the only one. The last Super Bowl play was viewed by 111.3 million viewers for the third year in a row, making it the most viewed football television show of all time. Today I'm going to share with you the great passion that I have for the game of football. We're going to go through the beginning of football, we're going to go through the roots, we're going to go through the evolution of the game, we're going to look at where it is today, and kind of touch on where it might go into the future. In the beginning, football evolved from rugby, which evolved from soccer. And soccer has been played since 206 BC, where it was played in China during the Han Dynasty. They eventually introduced tackling into it when they would blow up and they would inflate a cow bladder and tackle each other to try to get this cow bladder before the other team crossed the goal. This became so violent that it was eventually outlawed. 1623, it was brought back, but they left out the tackling, pretty much keeping it as soccer as we know it today. And according to legend, William Ellis at Rugby College in 1823, got bored with the game while playing it, picked up the ball and ran it to the goal line. This broke every rule in the game, but the crowd loved it. And in 1869, Princeton and Rutgers continued playing this type of game where they'd actually get to run the ball. And it's often considered the first football game, but a lot of historians would actually argue that point. In 1876, during the Massaquoi Convention, they actually got together and wrote down the rules of American football. And later that year, they had the very first football game between Harvard and Yale. The football coach of Yale at that point was Walter Camp, who is considered the father of American football. Professional football didn't come along until later. In 1892, Pudge Heffelfinger is considered to be the first professional football player when he was paid a great sum of $500 to play the game. In 1905, this game was so violent when 18 people died and 159 more were seriously injured that the American President Teddy Roosevelt stepped in and encouraged the game to actually change up the rules so it wouldn't be so violent. One of the innovations that came along at this point was the forward pass. Professional football was still kind of struggling to get along and competing with the college game until 1913 when Jim Thorpe decided he was going to play professional football. Jim Thorpe was considered to be the greatest athlete of the time after dominating the 1912 Olympics. During 1920, the birth of the league that eventually became the NFL came to be. This happened in 1920, and it continued to evolve. In 1967, they played their very first Super Bowl, becoming a great innovation of the game and definitely increasing the popularity of the sport. Till today, we have 32 professional teams, thousands of colleges, and even high schools that are very popular. The popularity of football is enormous. But right now, they still are messing with the nature of the game. It started out with problems being violent, and it still continues today, mainly questioning the concussion problem that they have today. Questioning people such as John Madden, a former coach, who has come out and said they need even more protection for the star players, namely the quarterbacks. And John Mara, who is the owner of the New York Giants, has actually come out in public. He said recently that they needed to do away with the kickoff altogether because you have so many grown men running full speed at each other. The future of the game is, well, who knows what's going to happen. As it become more violent, are they going to be able to take more violence out of the game to make it softer? Or who knows? But I do know that it will continue to grow. It will continue to evolve. And hopefully women will enjoy the game as well. And who knows, maybe even start playing the game. Thank you.